Hello. Hey, we're going. Top chat, live chat. Hey, we're going. All right. And I have my super duper like upload speed now. Check it out. Okay. Good afternoon. It is I, your host Pogokiro, with yet another episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. Let's switch. Yes. Hello. Check it out. Beautiful, right? Beautiful Minecraft. A lot of cool things in Minecraft. A lot of cool effects. I like the sunsets. What a nice sunset. Yeah. So it is. Today is April 2nd, Tuesday. Way later than what I would normally do it. But Sunday was Easter, and Monday was April Fool's. So I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do it on those days. So I'm gonna try to do my show on another day. I haven't really been playing a lot of Minecraft. Let me be honest here, because like I'm just kind of tired of it. I'm building the same things that I always build, and yeah, it's just not not interesting. I've been playing Dwarf Fortress, and I considered playing Dwarf Fortress for my show, but then I thought, man, no one's gonna understand what's happening, and then I'm gonna get sucked into the game and not understand or not be able to talk about anything. Because like there's always something to do in Dwarf Fortress. In fact, what happens is you queue up so much stuff that your dwarves like can't do it fast enough. so you end up like trying to figure out, well, what's going on, what's wrong. So anyways, the sun setting. A weird sunset. Okay, but yeah, and the moon rises. So yeah, welcome to my show, my late show. To be honest, I really also haven't been feeling all that spiffy about stuff. I've been feeling pretty bad. Feels pretty bad, man. Feels pretty bad. I have no torches. I have like nothing. I'm out here in the desert base, which or not desert, the jungle base, which isn't anything. JJ has like made this giant M and then put some floating stones, and then that's about it. I planted some a garden here, like a wheat garden, but it's not much. And in fact, I'm not gonna hang out here. It's too dark. I can't like be cool and talk about stuff if I'm always having to watch out for skeletons trying to kill me. Yeah. So during my last show, I was saying, hey, wouldn't it be nice if Donald Trump like couldn't pay his bond and ended up like having a bunch of his assets auctioned off and seized and auctioned off? Well, guess what happened? Donald Trump managed to talk down the amount he owed. He talked it down from 463 million down to 100 something million. And then he got a 10-day extension. And then he found somebody who would give him a bond for the money. So Donald Trump got his delay again. So that got me thinking, maybe the American justice system is designed to let rich people get away with things. I mean, it didn't really help Jeffrey Epstein, but like, is he as wealthy as Donald Trump? He had his own like island. I don't know. And he got caught. But what is it about Donald Trump that for some reason he never suffers consequences for any of his bullshit? Like, what is it that makes it so Donald Trump doesn't ever suffer any consequences? Because at this rate, Donald Trump is gonna die of old age before he suffers any consequences for any of the crimes that he committed. If you recall, Joe Lieberman died recently. He died. And he died as a result of a fall. He was perfectly healthy until he fell. And then he fell, and then a few days later he died. So understand that Joe Lieberman is only like a year older than Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is only like 3 years older than Donald Trump. So what I'm saying is these are old guys, and like any little thing could like knock them off. Like, isn't that cool what JJ made? He made a dirt pillar. And then JJ also made this nice pattern in my wheat. In the wheat, he made this pattern. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I planted all this wheat, and he came through and like made all this empty space. So anyways, so I'm like, damn, maybe Donald Trump is gonna like get away with everything, because he's good at delaying, and the United States justice system just gives him all the delays he wants. Like, he already bought out Eileen Cannon, the judge in Florida, and she already is gonna delay that document case until whenever. Like, until whenever, right? Like, who knows when it's gonna finish up, or if it's ever gonna happen, because Eileen Cannon's real slow about it, just slow walking everything. And then Donald Trump like made this claim, hey, I'm king, you can't prosecute me because I'm king. And so 2 courts already struck that down, but then Donald Trump got it to the Supreme Court, and his friends at the Supreme Court have decided, you know what, let's give Donald Trump a delay. We got to answer that question. Does the Constitution make Donald Trump king? We don't know. Like, the 2 lower courts already decided, and they didn't have an issue with it, but the Supreme Court, whoa, that's a real sticky question. It's not written in there, but just because it's not written in there doesn't mean the Supreme Court can't just invent something and decide that that's what it is. Justice Gorsuch already did that. He already like ruled on a case that was entirely fictional. He made up entirely fictional case and then ruled on it. It's so stupid. So the Supreme Court is like a friend of Donald Trump, is what I'm saying. So he's got lots of friends in lots of places, this Donald Trump. Like Russia, he's got friends in Russia for sure. That's how he got president the first time. And he promised them to help them take Ukraine if the Russians help him take the presidency again in 2024. So Donald Trump, I'm saying, he's got a lot of friends, and it seems like he's gonna get away with it, because the United States justice system, it's great at smashing poor people. Like, let me tell you, if you or me were to do anything that Donald Trump has done, we'd be in prison already, and we wouldn't have a chance to appeal. We wouldn't have a chance to delay. We wouldn't have a chance to walk around and be free pending appeals. Like, we couldn't talk down our bail. We couldn't talk down our judgment from like a massive amount to a like 1/5 of that amount. We couldn't do it. We can't. Yeah, right, because we're poor. Like, but in the United States, if you're rich, it seems to like really the system really seems to bend to you if you're rich. And Donald Trump is really working that rich angle and showing that the United States is deferential to rich people. So what this reminds me of is that the United States seems to be in a second Gilded Age. Do you know the first Gilded Age? That was the Roaring Twenties. The Roaring Twenties. That was called the Gilded Age, because America at that time, on the surface, was a shiny gold apple. Shiny gold apple. But once you pierce the gold and look underneath was all rotten. Like the great novelist F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote the book The Great Gatsby, which talked about how the Gilded Age in America operated in the 1920s. Like, rich people were basically kings. They could do whatever they wanted. And if something went wrong, they didn't, you know, it wasn't their fault. They didn't clean it up or fix it. They just left the mess behind for everyone else to clean up after them. And that's kind of what's going on right now. We're in a second Gilded Age. Like, all these economic indicators say, oh yeah, America's doing great, America's fantastic, but I just came from grocery shopping, and everything is way more expensive. My salary hasn't increased to match the increase in prices, but everything is more expensive. So I thought naively, well, why don't we just tax the rich people? Why don't we just tax the corporations? And then that will stop them from raising prices. But it doesn't work like that. I read somewhere that what happens when you tax corporations is they pass the tax on to the consumer and to the workers. So it's the consumers and workers who end up paying the inflated tax, and the corporations make the same amount of money. They just raise their prices. And you think, well, wait a minute. We live in capitalism. If someone raises their prices, someone else is going to undercut them. Ah, but we don't live in just capitalism. We live in monopoly capitalism. At this point, in the capitalist stage, there's not 1,000 companies making shit. It's only like a handful of big-ass corporations who make everything, who do everything. And they have all the power because they make everything. What are you going to do? You can't buy it from someone else. If you buy it from someone else, you're going to end up buying it from the other mega corporation who's like screwing you too. So it's like the only way we could fight back against these monopolies is with government. The government breaking up the monopolies. But that's not happening because we got Donald Trump trying to, you know, overthrow the United States and install a fascist dictatorship. And you know for sure Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about monopolies or about me or you. He doesn't give a fuck. So, yeah, feels kind of bad. There is someone who does give a fuck. And that guy's name is Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders was the man, or is the man. Bernie Sanders knows what's up. Bernie Sanders knew Israel was a terrorist state before Israel did its genocide in Gaza. Like, all you gotta, like, and all the signs were there, right? Of course Bernie Sanders was the choice. Bernie, instead of Joe Biden, I didn't want Joe Biden, I wanted Bernie Sanders. Because Bernie Sanders knows what's up. And like, the signs were there. The signs were there. What do I got here? Remember this? In 2016, he's in Portland and he's giving a speech. He's in Portland and he's giving a speech. And then a little birdie lands on his podium to say hello. A little birdie lands on his podium to say hello. Like, you can't engineer that. You can't fake that. You can't buy that. You can't buy that. It's not like an engineering thing. It's not AI.
I think there may be some symbolism here.
Right? Bernie Sanders knows what's up. All the signs were there. What else happened, right? What's another sign that was there? Let me see, where's it at? Here's another sign.
עזוב את הדגל.
הלו! הלו, אדוני!
עורב!
היי!
אנרכיסט! הלו!
מה זה?
עזוב את הדגל, בחייאת. אני בשוק. עורב! מה? אני בהלם. אני בשוק.
The signs are there, guys. Or folks, the signs are there. It's not So that's the other part that makes me feel bad, is that Israel is committing a genocide. The United Nations said, "Hey Israel, knock that shit off. Knock that shit off. Stop doing the genocide." And then the United States said, "Well, wait a minute. The United States says that Security Council resolutions are non-binding. That you don't actually have to follow the Security Council. So just because the Security Council says something, it's not binding. So let's remember that in the future, the next time the United States passes a Security Council resolution, they're non-binding, according to the United States. So, like, yeah, sure, Joe Biden won the primary, and then Joe Biden is now the president, and now because Joe Biden is the president, he's the incumbent, and the incumbent is not going to step aside for someone else to come in, because then they lose the incumbency advantage. Like, Biden already defeated Donald Trump once, so you're not going to get another person in there. It's going to be Joe Biden. The decision was made in 2016. Or in was it not 2016? In 2020. Well, yeah, 2016. It was made in 2016. When instead of going for Bernie Sanders, people went for Hillary Clinton. So, well, what about Hillary Clinton? What about Hillary Clinton? Let's listen to what Hillary Clinton has to say.
But it's Biden versus Trump.
Yes,
we know that.
It is. It is.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the two choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the two choices.
Yeah.
Get over yourself. Those are. It is.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the two choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the two choices.
Yeah, love that.
Right?
Yeah. All right, Hillary Clinton. All right, Hillary Clinton. This woman here, her name is Zomi Francom, right? She needs to get over herself. Those are her two choices. She needs to get over herself. She is a worker for World Central Kitchen, right? Which is an aid organization that was filling the gap in Gaza after the UN RWA had its funding cut by the United States. So they were stepping up to help them out, right? Oh, wrong one, but that's coming. Oh, there she is! Hey, wake up, you dead person. Get over yourself. Joe Biden's great. Joe Biden, he's great. Even though you're dead, because Joe Biden wants you to be dead, you need to get over yourself. You dead people need to get over yourselves. Right, Hillary Clinton? Shit. No wonder you lost the 2016 election. You gonna tell these people to get over themselves? Right? Look at this little kid. Why don't you get over yourself, little kid? Little baby? Get over yourself. Look at all these dead kids. Why can't you get over it? And just accept that Joe Biden is the choice. Get over yourself, little kids. That's ridiculous. So, that's Zomi, right? This is Zomi. She's one of the 3 people who were murdered. She's Australian, and she was her car was bombed by Israel. Now you think, oh, maybe it's an accident. Maybe it's an accident. Like maybe they didn't mean to bomb the car. Where'd it go? But no, dude. 3 vehicles from the World Central Kitchen were targeted, with the first and last being over 2.4 kilometers apart. Really, really far apart. They knew exactly what they were doing. The second car was bombed after it rescued the survivors of the first and third. The third car was bombed after it rescued the survivors of the second. So Israel is double, triple tapping to make sure these people died. Why would Israel kill aid workers? Why would they kill aid workers? Because Israel, here we go. So, it's not like they didn't know. Shit. it's not like they had no idea or anything. Look how clear that is. They bombed basically the logo. They bombed the logo of the aid agency of the World Central Kitchen. So it wasn't a mistake. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were attacking aid workers because Israel is a terrorist state. That's what they do. They're a terrorist state. What else did they do? Israel bombed an embassy in another country. Where'd that go? 6 killed as Israel strikes Iran embassy annex in Damascus. So, you're not supposed to ever attack embassies. Embassies are involatile. Like, you don't touch them. Like, they're technically the property of the other country. So there's an embassy or a consulate in Japan. I had in Osaka that I had to go to in order to like re-up my passport. Did I re-up it there? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So in order to get my passport renewed, I had to go to the US consulate. And that US consulate in downtown Osaka, Japan, is technically US territory. So to attack it is to like attack the country. So Israel basically is attacking Iran. So, and remember, Israel only acts because the United States allows it, like okays it. It's not like Israel did this on their own. They got an okay from the Biden administration that that Hillary Clinton is telling you to just get over yourself. Those dead kids, are totally meaningless to Joe Biden and to Hillary Clinton. We need to just get over ourselves, ignore the dead kids, and vote for Biden anyways. Man, Hillary Clinton, wow, I absolutely see why you lost. So the reason why a terrorist state, Israel, is attacking these aid agencies is because these aid agencies, it's not just the World Central Kitchen. They also attacked the UNRWA, which is the agency that kept the people alive by feeding them. And listen, our main goal in the war, the threat... UNRWA is the source of the idea. The idea that Palestinians are human beings and they need to be fed. You need to feed human beings. That idea that Palestinians are human beings is antithetical to Zionism. Zionism can't have Palestinians be people. Zionism needs Palestinians to be an abstract concept, like a terrorist. So then you can wipe them away. You can kill them all, and it's okay to kill them all because you're just killing an abstract concept. You're not actually killing a human being. And UNRWA has the opposite idea. Well, not the opposite, but they have another idea. The UNRWA has the idea that Palestinian people are people. They're people. They're human beings. And so Israel needs to get rid of that idea that Palestinians are people. So that's why Israel is attacking the UNRWA and the World Central Kitchen. Because these aid agencies are spreading the idea that Palestinians are human beings. And Israel can't have that.
שאמרה עינת, היא יולדת עוד ועוד טרוריסטים בכל מיני שיטות, ואי אפשר יהיה לנצח את המלחמה.
So that's what she's saying, right? She's saying there are no Palestinian people, there's only terrorists, and that the UNRWA is stopping. Well, it's spreading the opposite idea, that the Palestinian people are actually people. And if they're people, then you can't starve them, you can't famine them, you can't murder them, you can't bomb them, you can't kill them, you can't ethnically cleanse them, you can't genocide them. But wait a minute, that's exactly what Israel wants to do. So in order to advance its agenda, Israel is attacking aid agencies that are spreading the idea that the Palestinian people are people. So, to reiterate here, Israel bombs an American citizen to death in Gaza while delivering food to starving civilians in a deconflicted zone. In all, Israel killed a dual U.S.-Canadian national as well as people from Australia, Poland, the United Kingdom, and a Palestinian. World Central Kitchen CEO Aaron Gore said in the statement. Note, Gore said, "The love they had for feeding people, the determination they embodied to show that humanity rises above all, and the impact they made in countless lives will forever be remembered and cherished." Note, the Israeli Defense Force said it is conducting a thorough review at the highest levels to understand the circumstances of this tragic incident. It basically they're lying. The Israeli officials are lying. We know why they killed these aid workers. It's because these aid workers are spreading the idea that Palestinians are human beings. And Israel, a terrorist state, is trying to commit a genocide. And it makes it hard to commit a genocide if everyone knows you're committing genocide. But we should just get over ourselves. Right, Hillary Clinton? Holy shit, I can't believe you said that. Holy shit. I mean, she makes it crystal clear that she's on the side of the Israelis. She's on the side of genocide, right? She doesn't feel that Palestinians are human beings, that we need to just get over ourselves because they're just terrorists to Hillary Clinton. Just get over myself and just vote for Biden anyways. You sure about that? So what did Joe Biden say? If you harm an American, we will respond. Remember when he said that? Here, let's go back to when he said it. Biden. So he first said it when, okay, so you recall, as Israel was committing the genocide, U.S. troops were under attack, became under attack in Syria and Iraq. Why? Why would American bases be under attack? Because to these other groups, USA and Israel are the same thing. They're no different. They're the same thing. So, in order to respond to the attack on the Palestinians, U.S. bases became under attack. And at one time, a drone got through and killed three U.S. service members. So Joe Biden sacrificed three U.S. service members in order to propagate Israel's genocide. He was okay with that. In fact, he said, if you harm an American, we will respond. Because, does he really care about the American lives that were lost? Or did he find it a convenient excuse to help Israel further by widening the war against the Houthis? He's just going to widen the war now. He's just going to give Israel more cover to do their genocide. So Joe Biden doesn't actually care about the Americans that he killed, because he killed them. It wasn't the terrorists that did it. It wasn't the groups. They were responding to a genocide. Those guys were morally justified. And who put them in that position? Joe Biden. Joe Biden put our troops in that position to be killed for the sins of Israel. So, in this instance, he doesn't actually care about the U.S. lives. He doesn't actually care about U.S. troops, because he just used it as an excuse to go advance Israel's agenda. Now, we just saw Israel murder three aid workers, one of whom was an American. Is Joe Biden gonna respond to this? Is he gonna send the jets and shoot down Israeli planes? Hell no. He's gonna absolutely ignore it, because it doesn't suit Israel's agenda. Like, everyone knows Donald Trump is a fascist dictator. Like, it's easy to see. But Joe Biden has a slick marketing team so that you don't notice that he's engaged in genocide. And he's gonna basically get us in a war in the Middle East. After Israel bombed that embassy, that's an embassy. Like, that's crazy. Remember when our embassy got attacked by a bunch of like, it wasn't even like a nation state, but our embassy in, I think, Libya, Benghazi made, like, the Republicans made a deal about it for like 7 years. Benghazi. I mean, I'm not saying that it's funny that American people died, but I'm saying, like, the Republicans totally didn't care about the Americans. They just wanted to use Benghazi to attack Barack Obama. But it's the same thing. The politicians don't actually care about Americans. They just use them to advance their own agendas. What's this? Biden administration greenlights more bombs and warplanes for Israel despite widening rift with Netanyahu. So the widening rift with Netanyahu, that's just PR, public relations. There's no fucking rift. He just sent them a bunch more weapons to kill more people. He shut down funding for the UNRWA because Israel told them to. Biden's like, okay, Bibi, you want me to shut down American funding for this aid group because it's keeping Palestinian people alive? Okay, I'll do whatever you want, Bibi. Yeah, Biden. Well, he said he's a Zion Nazi. He declared it again twice. He doubled down on. He's saying, "Yep, I'm a Zion Nazi." Biden called himself a Zion Nazi. Said he's a Zion Nazi. So what is a Zion Nazi? It means they're on board with genocide. So. Yeah, I'll get over myself, Hillary Clinton, but first let me get over these, like, 30,000 dead bodies. Just get over yourselves. Come on, guys. Get over yourselves. Look at all you people under there. How many dead bodies are buried in the rubble? How many? Because the Palestinians don't have bulldozers and evacuation crews to, like, clear the rubble to save the people. No, the people just die and then are left there to rot. So yeah, all these people buried under the rubble just need to dig themselves out from underneath the rubble, bring themselves back to life, and then get over themselves. Right, Hillary Clinton? Fuck, wow, I can't believe you said that. Right? Right? Joe Biden could have easily done this. And I'm not, okay, so Israel serves US purposes in that it's a counterweight to Iran. That's the entire reason why the United States is with Israel, because Israel is its base, its military base, where it can threaten Iran. So it could be that it's just long-standing U.S. policy. But just because look at this Supreme Court. It's struck down so much precedent that it doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't even matter. You don't have to do something just because your predecessors did it. Just because your predecessors used Israel as a counterweight to Iran doesn't mean you have to do it. I mean, you're basically, like, on board with genocide just to keep that relationship. So if... Like, what else will you do just to keep a relationship if you're on board with genocide? Fuck. Yeah, here's another one. Biden rewards genocide. The Biden administration is close to approving the sale of as many as 50 American-made F-15 fighter jets to Israel in a deal expected to be worth more than $18 billion. The transaction would amount to the largest U.S. military sale to Israel since October 7th. So, yeah, dude, Biden's totally on board with the genocide. In fact, he rewards the genocide by giving Israel access to American jets. The best fighter jets in the world. So, would I, maybe I don't want to get over myself, Hillary Clinton. Maybe I think genocide is a line that shouldn't be crossed. I don't think I will get over myself, Hillary Clinton. So you're gonna be like, oh, then you're gonna bring in Donald Trump. Fuck you. I'm not the one setting U.S. policy. I'm not the one doing genocide. All you had to do was not do genocide. That's it. Just don't do genocide. Don't do genocide, and you have the presidency. And what did Joe Biden do? He fucking did a genocide. Like, how hard is it to not do a genocide? Do you just wake up and be like, oh, I fell into a pool of genocide. Ah, I did a genocide. Ah. No, you don't just like trip over genocide. You have to actively pursue it. Joe Biden actively pursued it and defends it. So it's not me who's bringing in Donald Trump. It's them. It's the ruling class. It's the Democrats, the ruling Democrats. Joe Biden brought in Donald Trump. I mean, he kind of did, right? Because, like, he's like a what did Sarah Kendzior say? Joe Biden is just a placeholder presidency before Donald Trump takes full power again, because he's not actually doing anything to get Donald Trump. And she has a point, right? It's been how many years since Donald Trump worked with the Russians to steal the election? It's been how many years since Donald Trump extorted Ukraine for a political advantage? And they ran the same playbook to go after Joe Biden. That's the funny thing, is that Joe Biden is like helping Donald Trump take power, and they're still trying to get him. And he still helps them. Joe Biden still helps them. So it's not like Joe Biden is against Donald Trump. They're on the same, they're like working for the same team, but are different factions, I guess, of the same team. And the team is evil. Team evil. Team settlers. Team settler colonialism. Because the United States is a settler colonial nation. That's how it was founded. A bunch of people came over and killed the people that lived on the land that were here and used enslaved labor from Africa to build up a nation. That's the United States. That's the beginning of the United States. And what is Israel? Israel is a settler colonial nation. A bunch of people, not from Palestine, showed up, and with the weapons, they used terror and murder to drive the people that live there off the land so they can take it. It's the same thing that the United States did. So birds of a feather flock together. Settler colonial nation states hang together. And to me, that's a sin. That's wrong. We have learned from a review of history that violence is morally wrong. Like, you have to be consistent with your morals. If you're not consistent with your morals, are they really your morals? Are they really your principles if you're not consistent? So if the United States says, oh yeah, we're for truth, justice, and liberty. Really? Really? because you just murdered a bunch of people to take their land, and then you help another nation to do the same thing. Are you really for truth, justice, and liberty? You sure about that? The only thing I have that's uplifting in the least is this. Kyle Rittenhouse. You know, remember who Kyle Rittenhouse is? So there's all these signs that show me that this is a white supremacist settler colonial nation. All these signs. One of the signs is how Kyle Rittenhouse got a gun, traveled across state lines to murder a bunch of people, and then he got away with it. He went through the American justice system and got away with it. The same American justice system that is currently trying Donald Trump. Not even trying. We haven't even gotten to that part yet because he keeps delaying it, and the American justice system allows rich people to delay as long as possible. So the same white supremacist justice system let Kyle Rittenhouse get free. But just because the American justice system is white supremacist doesn't mean the American people are white supremacists. A lot of us are not. The majority of us are not white supremacists. So here's Kyle Rittenhouse is now like a grifter, like Donald Trump. He's a con man like Donald Trump. He's trying to make money off of stupid people who will give him money because he's done what they want to do, which is to kill non-white people with impunity. Other white supremacists want, like, idolize what Kyle Rittenhouse has done, and they want to do it too. So so they pay him money to show up and give a big speech about how he's great for being a murderer. And he tried it at this one university, and the American people shouted him down.
Okay, I'll answer the question of racist things he said. He says we shouldn't celebrate Juneteenth. We shouldn't celebrate Martin Luther King Day. We should be working those days. It's called Ketanji Brown Jackson, an affirmative action hire. He's talked nonsense about George Floyd, and he said he'd be scared if a black pilot was on a plane. Does that not seem racist?
I don't know anything about that.
Then answer no.
What do you mean
does that seem racist? Is a yes or no question, Kyle.
Well, after all the things I just told you, would you consider that hate speech?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Deflection! Deflection!
And he's gone.
Yeah!
He's out of there. Did you see it? Did you see how he tried to avoid that? How he made up
Yeah!
Kyle Rittenhouse could not answer whether or not it was racist to talk shit about Juneteenth. He couldn't answer it. He wouldn't answer it. It was a yes/no question, and instead of answering yes or no, he says, "I don't know." and then he gets booed out of the venue. Good. Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer. He shouldn't be making money off of his murder. So it's not like we're all dead. It's not like we're all white supremacists. There are a lot of good Americans out there who are fighting who do believe in truth, justice, and liberty, who are fighting for American values. But there's a lot of white supremacists too. So, I mean, and those white supremacists have a lot of power because they're embedded in the system. And that's why Donald Trump has tried to stage a failed coup, and then came around and tried again 4 years later. Because, so real quick on Monopoly. This is by Tejvan Pettinger, 5 August 2016. Monopoly power. Another aspect of monopoly power is that powerful firms are often able to make more profit by paying low wages. Classical economists assuming labor markets are perfectly flexible, and if a firm pays a low wage, a worker can go and work somewhere else where wages are higher. But if you grow up in a town where 80% of the jobs are at a local coal mine, you don't have any alternative. Workers can't easily move to London and hope to get a better paid job. Therefore, they have to accept lower wages. The modern day monopolies are found in IT industry. Firms like Google, Apple, and Microsoft have created powerful positions of dominance in the industry, making it very difficult for any real competition in certain aspects. The success of these monopolies can be seen in the cash reserves. So regulation of capitalism. After the excesses of the Gilded Age in the 1920s, the U.S. slowly started to introduce regulations to prohibit monopoly power. Standard Oil was broken up and by a decision of the Supreme Court. Like, that's going to happen again. Forcing rivals out of business through making a loss is prohibited. Because they would have some corporations would like produce at a loss and sell at a loss just because they knew if they did it long enough that their competitors would fold, and then they could jack up prices a lot to make up for the lost revenue after they killed the competition. Collusion is illegal, but yet look at what's happening now. It's like collusion through algorithms. Like, they don't. Is it collusion if we all use programs to come up with the same idea? Yes. Labor market regulations ensure minimum wages and minimum standards of safety at work. The problems of capitalism. I would argue, or this guy says, I would argue capitalism doesn't always lead to competitiveness, equal free chances. No, in fact, it never does. Like, the whole point of capitalism is to concentrate wealth and power. You have to forcibly create conditions to stop that from happening. But you can't do that if the capitalists have taken over the government. Like, because the only entity that would do that would be the government, and the government can't do that if it's controlled by the capitalists. So he says the best way to compete may be to force rivals out of business. Without government regulation, the most unscrupulous and powerful firms do this. So anyways, there's a bunch of contradictions built into capitalism that ensure that we get to this point where corporations can raise prices and us people can't do anything about it. We can't tax them because they just pass the tax on to the workers and to the consumers. So they keep making money and we just pay more money. So the way you got to do it is you got to use government to pass laws to break those big blocks up, break them up so they can't work together, and instead they're competing against each other. But you can't do that if you don't have control of the government. And I don't know how we're going to get control of the government, because if you look right now, we got a genocider, and then we got like a fascist. That's our choices. And Hillary Clinton says to get over ourselves and choose between a genocider and a fascist. And I have a third option, which is don't make that choice at all. My choice is neither of them. Neither. Like, I don't have to choose. She's stupid. I can't believe she said that. So, alright. April 15th, some kind of trial is going to go on. I'm not sure which one. Oh, yeah. Now Donald Trump is targeting Judge Merchant, because that's the next judge that he has to face. He just switches to whatever judge he's before, unless the judge is friendly. Like, he won't do that to the Supreme Court, and he won't do that because that Supreme Court's friendly to Donald Trump. And he won't do it to Eileen Cannon in Florida, because Eileen Cannon is very, very friendly to Donald Trump. But he does it to everybody, all the other judges that he doesn't own. Because he's using stochastic terrorism. He doesn't actually tell people to do violence, but he uses his platform to incite violence against them by other people who are not mentally stable and will listen to his commands. Because he's giving commands, just not directly. So, but supposedly that trial is happening in April. It was supposed to happen in March, but again, Donald Trump has friends in a lot of friends in New York, in the Southern District of New York, and they did some tricks to delay the case even longer. So, but that runs out in April. So, like, I don't know. I'm not so confident anymore that the United States can defeat the capitalists and the criminals. I used to be like absolutely like rock solid on it, and now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I've been stupid. Maybe I've been a chump. So let's see what happens in April at this next trial. Like, like it'll be hilarious if Donald Trump like trips and falls off a plane, like getting off a plane, and then like dies before he ever faces consequences for anything. I mean, it won't be hilarious. It'll be sad. It will be a victory. By him dying, he will be victorious because the United States never got him. He managed to crime with impunity, and the United States could never stop him. That's funny. Anyways, all right, America. Until next time. Now you can see why I didn't want to do my show. Until next time, Pogokiro out. Peace.